U.S. President Donald Trump rejects Iran's latest peace proposal as ceasefire enters third week. EU automobile companies threaten transatlantic trade relations over U.S. tariff hike. And rebels tighten grip in Mali, setting up checkpoints around Bamako as armed groups bolster advance. This is the World News on AIT. I am Ogom Ezedimbo. Welcome. President Donald Trump says he is dissatisfied with Iran's latest peace proposal and warned that negotiations might fail. His remarks comes as a fragile ceasefire that has paused the fighting without a final resolution enters its third week. Trump told reporters that Tehran was seeking terms he could not accept. He said he preferred an agreement that would prevent a return to war, but also warned military actions could resume if diplomacy collapses. Talks aimed at ending the conflict have been stalled for weeks. A lengthy negotiating session in Islamabad beginning on April 11 and failed to produce even a preliminary framework for further discussions.
With Iran, as you know, it's a very disjointed, unfriendly leadership, unfriendly to each other. They're not getting along. They're very, very confused by what's happened because essentially most of their military has been wiped out. But we just had a conversation with Iran. Let's see what happens. But I would say that I am not happy.
The diplomatic tension further unfolded as the U.S. State Department approved more than $8.6 billion in military sales to Israel, Qatar, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates. The announcement underscores how regional security planning continues alongside the ceasefire. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Tehran remains open to diplomacy if Washington changes its approach. At the same time, Iran has warned it is prepared for the war to resume and could target U.S. interests and regional energy infrastructure. The United States has warned that shippers paying tolls or other fees to Iran for safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz could face sanctions. The warning comes during the third week of a U.S. naval blockade that has intensified pressure on Tehran.
The Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control said prohibited payment could take many forms, including fiat currency, digital assets, offsets, or in-kind exchanges. It also warned that donations routed through Iranian institutions such as the Iranian Red Crescent Society could trigger enforcement action. The advisory was issued as Iranian state media reported that Tehran had sent a new proposal for a lasting ceasefire to the Trump administration. The White House declined to confirm receipt, though spokeswoman Anna Kelly said negotiations were continuing. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has called the blockade of the country's ports intolerable. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Tehran remains open to diplomacy if Washington changes what he described as its threatening rhetoric and expansionist posture. The Strait of Hormuz carries roughly 1/5 of global crude oil and liquefied natural gas shipments. Its strategic importance has made the waterway central to the wider confrontation between the United States, Israel, and Iran. Iran has previously floated proposals requiring ships to pay fees for transit as part of broader efforts to manage wartime pressure on its economy. Washington has repeatedly rejected that approach and now says any payment could expose companies to sanctions penalties.
The United States has confirmed plans to withdraw 5,000 troops from Germany, widening tensions between Washington and Berlin. The decision followed the public clash between Donald Trump and German Chancellor over the Iran war.
The Pentagon said the order came from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth after a review of force posture in Europe. Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell said the withdrawal would be completed within 6 to 12 months. The announcement came a day after Trump sharply criticized Merz on social media. Trump accused the German leader of doing a poor job and linked his criticism to immigration, energy, and Iran diplomacy. Merz had earlier said the United States appeared to lack a strategy in dealing with Iran. He also argued that Iranian negotiators had left Washington politically embarrassed after fruitless talks in Islamabad. Germany currently hosts more than 36,000 active-duty U.S. troops, the largest American military deployment in Europe. Trump had previously floated troop reductions in Germany, though earlier attempts were blocked or reversed. This time, the decision lands as Berlin increases defense spending sharply under Merz, with military expenditure projected to rise to 3.1% of GDP next year.
Donald Trump has announced that the United States would raise tariffs on automobiles imported from the European Union to 25%. The move immediately injected new uncertainty into transatlantic trade at the moment when global markets were already under strain from the wider Middle East crisis.
The announcement came only months after Washington and Brussels had reached a trade agreement that placed tariffs on most goods at 15%. That agreement had lowered tensions after Trump earlier threatened duties as high as 30% on European exports. In a Truth Social post, Trump accused the European Union of failing to comply with the earlier deal, though he did not specify which commitment had been breached. He also said the vehicles manufactured in American plants would be exempt from the new tariff regime. The European Commission rejected the allegation of non-compliance and said it remained committed to a predictable and mutually beneficial relationship with the United States. Brussels also signaled that it would keep options open to protect European interests if Washington abandons the previous agreement. Germany's VDA Auto Association, led by Hildegard Müller, warned that the cost of additional tariffs could be severe for both sides of the Atlantic. Müller said American consumers would likely bear much of the burden as higher import costs move through supply chains. The tariff increase is due to take effect next week, further complicating a trade framework already weakened by a U.S. Supreme Court ruling limiting Trump's emergency tariff powers. That court decision had lowered the ceiling on European tariffs to 10%, making Friday's announcement a sharp new escalation.
The Fifth Circuit Court of the U.S. Appeals has issued an order that sharply restricts access to mifepristone and the abortion pill used in medication across the United States. The ruling temporarily restores the requirement that patients obtain the drug in person rather than by mail or through pharmacy distribution after telemedicine consultations.
The decision stems from a lawsuit brought by the state of Louisiana, challenging a 2023 Food and Drug Administration rule that permanently expanded remote access to the medication. The federal rule had allowed doctors to prescribe and send mifepristone without first seeing patients face-to-face. The order reverses the practical effect of a lower court's decision issued earlier this month that had paused the case while the Trump administration carried out a broader FDA review. By intervening now, the appeals court has reimposed the older restrictions before that review is completed. Mifepristone is the first drug in the two-pill regimen recommended by the FDA to terminate pregnancies and remains widely available in the states where abortion remains legal. Its availability had first been broadened in April 2021 when the FDA suspended the in-person dispensing requirement during the COVID-19 pandemic. The temporary pandemic-era measure became permanent in 2023, creating a nationwide telemedicine pathway that expanded abortion access, especially in states with restrictive laws. The latest court order directly affects that system and particularly limits access in places where surgical abortion is already difficult or banned.
At least 12 people have been killed in southern Lebanon early Monday as Israeli attacks continue despite the U.S. brokered ceasefire. The strikes added to mounting casualties in a conflict that has persisted well beyond the latest truce deadline.
8 people were killed in Abush in the Nabatea district, where residential areas were heavily damaged. Lebanese emergency teams searched through flattened buildings as wounded civilians, including a child and woman, were pulled from the rubble. Another 4 people were reported killed in separate attacks near Tyre and Nabatea later in the day. Lebanon's national news agency also reported that houses, a convent and a school were demolished during the Israeli operations. Before the strike on Abush, Israeli military spokesman Javier Hadri issued an evacuation order instructing residents to move at least 1,000 meters away. The same town had also been attacked earlier without prior warning. Lebanon's Ministry of Public Health said 2,618 people have been killed and 8,094 wounded since hostilities resumed on March 2nd. The death toll has continued rising, even though the ceasefire announced on April 17 was extended through May 17. Israel says its operations target Hezbollah, but many of those killed have been civilians. Hezbollah said it responded by targeting Israeli soldiers, vehicles, and a Merkava tank in southern Lebanon, while Israeli forces remain positioned in parts of the border region.
We will now join a live broadcast here in Abuja, the Premium Times 2026 Staff Award, and the news continues on other platforms.
The hall he beat. So when Mr. Olonyomi led us to start Premium Times in 2011, the mission was clear and unwavering journalism must serve the public. It must strengthen democracy, defend human rights, and hold power accountable. That clarity of purpose has guided us from the very beginning, and it continues to define who we are today. From a modest newsroom here in Abuja, Premium Time has grown into one of Africa's most respected investigative news platforms, recognized globally for rigorous reporting, data-driven journalism, and the courage to pursue difficult, often uncomfortable truths. Okay. Sorry, it's because of the light for camera people. Premium Time is more than a newsroom. It is an institution built on trust, courage, ethical discipline, and a deep commitment to the public good. But growth alone is not the measure of our success. Impact is. Over the years, our investigative reporting has consistently driven accountability in governance. We have exposed corruption in public institutions, uncovered the misuse of public funds, and triggered investigation by regulatory and law enforcement agencies. In several instances, our work has led to resignations, dismissals, and policy reviews, not because we set out to remove individuals, but because we followed the evidence wherever it led. We have also amplified voices that might otherwise have gone unheard. Our investigation into extrajudicial killings in Nigerian Southeast, particularly the Onitsha massacre, did more than earn the prestigious Global Shining Light Award. It uncovered mass graves, documented grave human rights violations, and compelled national and international attention to abuses that might otherwise have remained hidden. Beyond Nigeria, we have demonstrated that African journalism belongs at the center of global conversations. Our participation in the Panama Papers, one of the largest investigative collaborations in history, helped expose complex offshore financial networks used by powerful individuals worldwide. Premium Times was the only Nigerian newsroom with direct access to the data, and we published more than 30 stories revealing hidden assets linked to prominent Nigerians. That work formed part of a global effort involving over 100 media organizations, which went on to win the Pulitzer Prize in 2017. And our journey did not stop there. We have since contributed to other major cross-border investigations, including offshore leaks, Swiss leaks, Paradise Paper, and Pandora Papers. Collaboration that brought together hundreds of journalists across continents to uncover intricate systems used to conceal wealth and evade accountability. At home, our reporting has shaped national conversations on governance, security, and human rights. We have investigated forced evictions, such as the demolition of communities like Badia East in Lagos, exposing violations linked to developmental projects and international financing. We have reported consistently and courageously on issues many would prefer to avoid: certificate forgeries. You remember Kemi Adeosun and Uche Naji. Police brutality, electoral irregularities, public sector corruption, and the abuse of state power. And we have done all this fully aware of the risk involved. Our journalists have faced harassment, intimidation, arrest, and threats. Advertising has been withdrawn by clients uncomfortable with our reporting. Our website has suffered repeated cyber attacks, yet we persist. It is encouraging that our work and the sacrifices behind it continue to receive recognition, both locally and internationally. The Global Shining Light Award, which we received in 2018, honors journalism carried out under threat, duress, or dire conditions, circumstances that many of our reporters know all too well. But more important than recognition is trust, and that trust resides in the people behind the work. Our publisher, Dapo Oloyomi, whose vision and leadership have shaped the organization from inception. Our managing editor, Idris Akibajo, and the entire editorial team, whose discipline and rigor ensure that every story meets the highest standards. Where is the managing editor? Well done. Yeah. Why are you sitting far behind the room? Why are you? And the many journalists and professionals who have passed through this newsroom, many of whom now serve in other respected institutions or have founded platforms of their own. They carry with them something enduring, a commitment to truth, accountability, and public service. That is the Premium Times DNA. We have also continued to evolve. Our partnerships with organizations such as the Media Trust Group reflect our belief in collaboration as a pathway to strengthening journalism in Nigeria. And even as the media landscape shifts and misinformation, digital disruption, and growing pressure on independent journalism, we remain anchored in what matters most: facts, evidence, and the public interest. So, as we celebrate tonight, let us remember this. It is not the recognition. It is not even our global partnerships. Our greatest achievement is impact. Every investigation that drives accountability, every report that gives voice to the voiceless, every story that contributes in its own way to a more transparent and just society. That is our work. and that is our responsibility. The work is not finished. So tonight we celebrate, but we also recommit to the values that brought us here, to the standards that define us, and to the responsibility that comes with being trusted. Before I conclude, may I once again thank our distinguished guests for honoring our invitation. Dr. Kole Shetima, thank you for coming. Masha Sheikh Mohammed, thank you for coming. Alhaji Nasru Dano, Senator Lee Maeba, Mr. Dan Kunle, Mr. Dalami Modu, Ms. Grace Ike, and Mr. Ibiemi, Matthew Ibiemi, and all other guests who are here. We thank you. We look forward to engaging many of you as we expand our membership program, and important part of our sustainability efforts. Good journalism is expensive, yet it is indispensable for the survival of any democratic society. Despite the difficult business climate and the many headwinds we face, we remain determined to continue this work, and we invite you to be part of that journey. Thank you very much, everyone.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would re-echo some of the words that Mr. Mujid has said. Tonight, it's not just about the awards, it's about the impact of Premium Times. Ladies and gentlemen, it is said that if you don't stand for something, you would fall for anything. So this is us saying thank you to Premium Times for towing the path of being a pioneer in investigative journalism in Nigeria. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Mujid, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for that speech. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call on the Chairman Board of Directors to give an opening remark. So if your hands are not too busy, please put your hands together for the Chairman Board of Directors, Premium Times Services Limited, Dr. Idowu Obasa. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Keep clapping till he gets here. Keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. Thank you for celebrating him. Thank you. You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to this very important event. I will stand on the recognitions and protocols that the editor-in-chief has established. Our guests, most especially, you are most welcome and you are appreciated. But we'll also appreciate the people in regard to whom we are here. The warriors who have made Premium Times the reality that it has become today. Chido, I see you. Good evening. You're welcome. The editor-in-chief has said a lot about the values that Premium Times stands for, and I don't need to repeat any of them. But I just want to say that the board of directors is fully prepared to encourage those who are actually doing the work. Because for 15 years now, you are proving yourselves to be worthy of it. In that regard, I want to say right away that we will not miss these awards again. We will have it every year. I've already told the publisher and the editor-in-chief that we are going to establish a separate fund that we are going to gather money to support to ensure that the awards are never missed again. I will personally be putting some seed money on ground, okay? And I will also go out of the environment to beg for money for this purpose. Because as many of you will know, publishing is not like, we have Dr. Kunle here, he knows about oil. Publishing is not about oil. It's not like oil. The money is not flowing in the way the money flows in over there. But we're going to go to people like him to say, we want support to ensure that those who are doing the sweating and doing the work will be recognized at all times. Every year, we will never miss it again. Having said that, I just want to say that we recognize how difficult it is for the Premium Times, for a paper like Premium Times, to maintain the standards they have maintained for 15 years in this kind of environment. It's not easy. The temptations are there. And you cannot take yourself out of that environment. But we want to encourage the young men and women who are doing this job, okay, to continue to plod on, because this is their passion. This is what they want to do. Our own job is to ensure that the organization is able to meet its obligations to them, not just in terms of payment, but also in terms of creating and enhancing the appropriate environment in which they can thrive. We will be there in the background trying to ensure that this is done. Thank you very much for coming. I hope we have an enjoyable evening. And I want to congratulate in advance those who are going to win these awards. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please, once again, a hearty round of applause for Dr. Obasa. At least, if not for anything, for the fact that he said he's going to put some seed money to make sure this award runs. Thank you so much, sir. As the chairman was speaking, some guests walked in. And will we extend the same felicitations by putting our hands together? First off, we have a member from the Premium Times editorial board, Dr. Chido Onuma. A round of applause for Dr. Chido. You are welcome, sir. You are welcome. We also have a professor of mass communication from Bayes University, Professor Abiodun Adeni. You are welcome, sir. Thank you for gracing this occasion. Also, we have a representative from MDIF, Mr. Deji Adekunle. Is he here? You are welcome, sir. Thank you for coming. All right, ladies and gentlemen, like I promised you at the start of this event, I promised you, amongst other things, entertainment. And right about now, I'm about to call a great saxophonist to come and show you what it's about. This particular saxophonist has performed on many stages with some of your favorite artists. He has performed with Davido, he has performed with Wizkid, he has performed with some international gospel artists as well. He has also performed with the likes of 3E and the rest. Ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, a round of applause for the very enigmatic King Toby Sax. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen, as he comes to thrill us. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for King Sobisak, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for clapping. We have talent in Nigeria. Don't worry, he's going to come perform at a later time. As with all the speeches and remarks that have been given, the concept of investigative journalism has been touted, has been spoken about. That's the path that Premium Time toes. So right about now, ladies and gentlemen, we have someone that is going to come and tell us why Premium Time's kind of journalism matters. If your hands are not too busy, please put your hands together for Professor Abiodun Adeniyi. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony. Chairman, Premium Times, Dr. Idowu Obasa, and of course, Editor-in-Chief, Premium Times, the very respected Mojid. Thank you for all you are doing. Our dignitaries, I can recognize Dr. Kole Shetima, Makoto Chieftain, and Senator Lee Meaba. I can recognize him too. Dr. Onoma, I can recognize him. And of course, there are some other very important personalities seated on that front row. I do apologize if I miss out your name. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to be here this evening to share thoughts with us on why Premium Times kind of journalism matters. And of course, we do know that life is that in ordinary terms. Against that background, we'll also be able to acknowledge that communication, media, and dissemination has also been dynamic over time. If we go back to the 15th, 16th century, what we had was what we will now describe as primitive kind of communication, until we now had the Gutenberg Galaxy that revolutionized communication through the advent of book publishing. And of course, the printing press also galvanized newspapering, and there was a boom. Information dissemination became very, very robust. Then eventually, humanity was somewhat celebratory when we had the revolution in the book culture. But the celebration was hardly died before the telegraph came. And while we are still celebrating the telegraph, mobile telephoning came through the fixed line. And these are the things that we need to keep reminding ourselves every time we have to contextualize our present as the case could be. Okay, after the telegraph, yes, we had the telephone. Then eventually telephone too was revolutionized and became much more sophisticated, leading us to mobile telephone. And of course, not just the mobile telephone, but of course, satellite communication through the manipulation of geostationary orbits. Eventually, somewhere in the late 60s, we had the internet coming through the instrumentality of the military and collaborating with the university. The internet was not liberal, it was not democratized until we had the World Wide Web through the creativity and innovative progress of Tim Berners-Lee. Again, come forward, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we eventually had the social media, digital media, fast-paced media, which has respect more, unfortunately, for speed rather than accuracy. And that, of course, created an atmosphere of hyper pluralization of channels of communication where everyone was involved, even with the possession of the smallest kind of telephone as long as it's a smartphone. And let's not forget that sometimes in the mid-90s, we're talking about the fax machine being the seventh wonder of the world. But consistent with how frenetic capitalism is, how frenetic innovations are, things are developing at very fast pace. Even the GSM, the mobile telephone we are celebrating today, that all of us have, we knew that in about 25 years ago, it wasn't as liberalized the way we now use it, the way we now know it as. Those days, if you remember, those of us who are old enough, it was one big kind of gadget that some big men in Nigeria used to carry. We used to call it Not 9, they call it Not 9 Not. Built-in lobby, oppressing people with it. Hello, how far? Is my business, my goods coming, and all such things. It was just exclusive to only a section of the populace. And eventually, we had the GSM, liberalizing the use of telephone. But consistent with the nature of the human being, if left free, can be unnecessary, can be excessive in many respects. And that's why framers of society imagined law. And that's why Thomas Hope told us that if the society is left unchecked, of course, life will be nasty, brutish, and short. Now, feel free to transport that understanding into the realm of communication, where we have complete liberalization, complete multi-channelization. Okay? And everybody now felt a stronger sense of self-esteem by owning the mobile phone. And in owning the mobile phone, we are now having all kinds, different levels of professionals. New ones, citizen journalists, on-air personality, digital content creator. Just feel free to call yourself, adopt the name you want to adopt. And you also see people joining you in this matrix. This pluralization, this over-channelization, which is otherwise empowering, somewhat consistent with free speech, the need not to constrict the spaces of expression, has now come up with light. Downside, ladies and gentlemen, is reflected in the existence of closet nymphomaniacs, closet psychopaths, who through the instrumentality of their telephone alone can wreak havoc on individual psychologies and even on nations. They wreak havoc because they privilege virality, they privilege speed over substance, and of course they jettison accuracy. In this process, against this background, ethics, responsibility has been thrown to the dogs. Mainstream media, traditional media, is often famously associated with fact-based reporting, evidence-based reporting, double check. Okay? And of course, if you are investigating a story, if you have not heard the other side, we are told to drop it until you're able to hear the other side. Or at the minimum, persist. Go ahead and check and double check until you can hear the other side. But these days, those ethics don't work because we have a multiplicity of practitioners, multiplicity of people churning out information irrespective of the credibility, the integrity of those information. Now, if you look at that background, this background that I've tried to present, you now know that we need some kind of window, some kind of sunshine, some kind of sanity that should be created in this genre of journalism, in this genre of information dissemination, and of course that should come from, a virtual media organization, an internet-based organization, so to say, a network, a platform that is based on the digital media, that yet subscribes to the traditional mainstream, preferences, trainings that we know, are peculiar to the ideal kind of journalism. And what are these trainings? What are these learnings? What are these understanding? We're talking about fact-based reporting, objectivity, balance, covering, ensuring that you represent all other sides to a story. Not just because you want to be the first to break the news, then you rush to the press. That's the danger that journalism is facing, the danger media is facing, the danger information dissemination is facing. But the point, again, has to be re-emphasized if it is not clear enough that with this obfuscation of media space by quacks, or those that Ralph Akinfele call information traffickers, which is the opposite number of public relations practitioners called untrained, how public relations practitioners call untrained public relations people as PR technicians. Professor Ralph had given us a word. Information traffickers are those who are not trained, but who dwell in virtual spaces and continue to wreak havoc. But gratitude has to go to organizations like Premium Times that dwells or that live in the virtual space. They operate from the prism of the virtual space, but in virtuality, they have introduced credibility, they have introduced integrity, they are reminding us of the traditional time-worn ethics of journalism. And in 15 years, you cannot count 2 or 3 online-based newspaper without mentioning Premium Times, not just in Nigeria, but perhaps in Africa. I think for this, they deserve a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I know it can be very tough. Information dissemination is not easy. Fetching facts, fetching information is not a stroll in the park. It requires, or it needs us to be very painstaking, to be methodical, to be systematic. But that's the price we need to pay so that you not damage reputations. Okay, that's the sacrifice we need to make so that nations will not be brought to a standstill through misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, or if you like, if you want to add a variant into it, infodemic. These are things that endanger systems and society, that create dysfunctions. Okay? But yes, while we are celebrating the freedom that internet media has brought, the freedom that we have to in communicating, the system has to be reminded as well, individuals have to be reminded as well that there's no freedom that comes without responsibility. There's no freedom that comes without responsibility, and that's why nations are strengthening their digital spaces, coming up with laws, regulations, to remind people that yes, you are free to express yourself, to make a piece of information go viral, but you've got to be careful still. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, it's not been easy, I know, for Premium Times. They're operating in a very tough environment where freedom of information, freedom of speech is still problematic. But in 15 years, they have weathered the storm. In 15 years, I'm aware, they've been in and out of court cases, some of them still lingering. Sometimes we have had shutdowns, sometimes we have had arrests. This is likely to continue. And like Taisolari told us, that if you want to become in life, if you want to grow, or if you want to be successful, may your road be rough. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, distinguished awardees, your road may continue to be rough because of the minefield embedded in the process of news gathering. And because we live in a system which is suffocated by downsides around the crisis of the lack of credibility, around the crisis of the lack of transparency, and of course, the deep-seated desires of individuals, particularly public officials, to be hideous in the things that they do. The task of the journalist is to unearth, to dig deeper into the things that these fellows want to hide, not just to the glory or to grow the reputation of their organization, but for the stability and sustainability of the system that they belong in. That is the charge before you, distinguished professionals, and of course, you've been up to the task in the last 15 years, and I'm very confident in another 15 years to come, and in 15 more years after that to come, you continue to excel and over and forevermore. Against that background, I'm going to drop the microphone and ask you not to forget to please give me a round of applause.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would ask a hearty round of applause for Professor Adeniyi. I know he requested for it, but I'm also requesting as well. Please, the Almighty gave us hands, and let's utilize these hands by clapping. Please, let's keep clapping for the Prof. Thank you so much, Prof, for your kind words. Very detailed and in-depth. Thank you, Mr. DJ. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to crave your indulgence just a little bit. I'm proud to announce that this entire event is running live on AIT. So please, we would like for the noise, especially at the back, to be reduced because it's interfering with what the recorders are doing. Thank you so much. All right, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with us. Like I said, we'll be out of here in no time for those that want to party at the after party. Right about now, I'm going to call on the managing editor of Premium Times, Mr. Idris Akimbajo, and he will take us on a brief history of Premium Times. So what a round of applause for our managing director, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, he's well loved. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome, sir.
Good evening, everyone. I thank everyone for coming, but I'll cut to the chase. This is our fourth edition of the annual awards ceremony. We started in 2021. We've had 3 winners of Reporters of the Year. When we started in 2022, our aim was to identify and reward our outstanding journalists who produced the best stories and demonstrated consistency in producing courageous journalism. Apart from honoring monthly award winners, the highlights of the previous ceremonies were celebrating the Reporter of the Year and the authors of our Story of the Year. This year, we are combining the 4th and 5th editions of the awards. And thank you to our chairman of our board for promising that henceforth we will be holding the awards annually. We are very grateful. All our reporters and our editors were very happy with the news. This means that for this year's ceremony, we are celebrating winners for 2024 and 2025. The monthly awards remain. However, we have expanded the highlights to include 2 additional award categories. These are Editor of the Year and Digital Strategist of the Year. These categories have been included because of our continued appreciation of the roles editors and digital strategists play in a 21st century newsroom like Premium Times. The importance of editors in a newsroom, even in a traditional one, is well known, but many still consider it a thankless job. We believe our best editors deserve to be celebrated. Digital strategists in our operations are those who conceptualize and implement ways to ensure that our stories reach the widest possible audience in the best format amidst millions of competing alternatives. We believe the best of the people in this category also deserve to be honored. So how did we select our winners that will be honored today? Every month, we encourage all journalists whose stories are published on Premium Times to submit their best stories for the monthly awards. These stories are then graded separately by a panel of 2 judges, both former Premium Times editors. The stories were graded on 5 criteria: depth, investigation, relevance, writing quality, and multimedia. For depth, the story looked at how well researched is the story, how much balance does it contain, how much effort was put into it, and how much context does the story contain. Investigations: to what extent does the story expose something an individual or institution wants to hide, especially around issues of corruption, regulatory failure, or human rights abuses? Relevance: how important is the story to global, national, or local discourse? And how well did the author demonstrate the importance of the story? Fourth one, writing quality: how well structured is the story? How well did the author use hyperlinks? And how relevant were the hyperlinks? And last criteria, judging criteria, is how multimedia: how much effort was made by the reporters to include multimedia components, photos, videos, audio, infographics in the story, and how good and relevant were these multimedia components to the story. The winners in all these categories were based on the evaluation of the submitted stories using these 5 criteria I just itemized. At Premium Times, we do not just reward excellence, we also train and mentor reporters to be the best in their fields. Little wonder that some of our previous winners, after owning their skills with us at Premium Times, have gone on to become reporters and editors at other international media outlets, such as BBC, SciDev, ISS, and Reuters. In fact, I remember that the first winner of our Reporter of the Year in 2021, just a few months after I won the award, was appointed as an editor at BBC. The second winner of the Reporter of the Year in 2022, a few months became an editor at SciDev. So clearly, we're not just owning these young reporters, we're helping them build their talent to become the best in their field. But these exits of these talented reporters who win these awards also highlights a bigger issue: media sustainability for a medium like Premium Times, so that we can pay globally competitive salaries and retain our best hands, most of whom we lose only because of better pay. For us at Premium Times, we are not only committed to using accountability journalism to deepen our democracy, but also to build an ethical and sustainable brand. However, the sustainability aspect is arguably the most challenging. To address that challenge, we've adopted a mixed funding model to finance our operations. Grants, advertising, events, training, book publishing, and reader revenue are some of the ways we fund our investigations and pay our staff. And this is where we need your help. Our reader revenue comes from our membership, not subscriptions. This means that for us, our news and investigations will remain free for the public. We are not going to ever, or we don't plan to ever put our stories behind the paywall. However, members who make regular contributions to support Premium Times will get added benefits. They will be able to meet with our reporters and editors, review and contribute to our story production processes, attend our events, and enjoy other benefits. Most importantly, our members will be contributing to ethical investigative journalism that holds power to account in Nigeria and deepens democracy across Africa at a time of democratic decline on the continent. And of course, such members will help make this annual event a success, where we will continue to celebrate the reporters and editors who dig deep to tell the most consequential stories. So let us all be members of the Premium Times membership platform. Thank you very much.
So easy. About me, it's about me. It's let me go.
Very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to crave your indulgence to please another round of applause for the Managing Director, Mr. Idris Akimbajo. Thank you for that lecture on the history of the awards. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, some other distinguished guests walked in, and like I said, please extend the felicitations of clapping when I introduce them. First, we have a retired Assistant Director General from DSS, and he is a businessman as well. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Fola Caleb. Welcome, sir. You're welcome. We also have a power couple in our midst. The husband is the former Director General, Nigerian Governors Forum, while the wife is the founder and chair for Compliance Professionals PLC and former Executive Chairman, Nigerian Revenue Service. A round of applause for Mr. Asishana and Mrs. Ifweku Okaru. You are welcome. You are welcome. All right, thank you, DJ. In our midst, we also have the Honorary Consul of Romania in Nigeria. He's a businessman as well, Mr. Emeka Obianozie. You are welcome, sir. Oh, yes, you're welcome. Please, a round of applause for the gentleman. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the next couple of minutes, we would be displaying on the screens. If you can look to my left, or if this is closer for you, all the screens will be displaying a short documentary by the Premium Times Digital Strategy Unit. So while, okay, I think it's up. All right, so if you may, please turn your attentions to the screens and watch the documentary. Thank you. Apologies for the technical difficulties we seem to be facing. Right after the documentary, ladies and gentlemen, we'll proceed with the first round of awards. And this is for the time span of January to December 2024. So, Mr. DJ, please play some cue music while we anticipate the documentary. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. DJ. All right, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attentions to the screen and watch the documentary.
2011, a bold idea was born, courtesy Dr. Oloriyomi and Musikilo Moji, to tell Nigeria's story with courage and integrity. From a small beginning, Premium Times set out to redefine journalism in Nigeria. At a time when trust in media was fragile, Premium Times chose a different path: investigative journalism, accountability, public interest. Not just reporting the news, but asking the hard questions, holding power accountable, and giving voice to the people.
Investigative reporting newspaper. It's for publish online. We have a very active newsroom. We do a lot of anti-corruption stories, a lot of human rights stories, and a lot of audits, holding the regulators to account.
Over the years, Premium Times has broken stories that matter, exposed corruption, brought down some culpable officials. Remember Kemi Adeosun, remember Uche Naji, shaped national conversations, got justice for oppressed, and influenced policy and governance.
A lot of our reporting trigger investigative parliament. A lot of our reporting trigger escalation by government. It has triggered change in policies and all of that.
Our works have shown around Nigeria, West Africa, Africa, and worldwide. We shared a Pulitzer. We won Global Shining Light Award, the One World Award, the CNN African Journalist of the Year Award, Impact category, the Norbert Zongo African Investigative Journalism Award, the Salem Financial Journalism Award, the Hans Vepler Award, the Kevin Amodi Award for Outstanding Investigative Reporting, the Thompson Foundation Award, several Wameka Awards, several Wole Soyinka Investigative Reporting Awards, several Dame Awards, and several other honors. At the heart of Premium Times are its people, journalists, media storytellers, translators, data analysts, content producers, designers, researchers, digital strategists, business canvassers, the people in the admin, finance, and human resources, driven by purpose, guided by ethics, and united by a shared mission to inform, to empower, and inspire. Today, Premium Times inches towards 15 years of impactful journalism, 15 years of truth-telling, 15 years of resilience, 15 years of shaping the future of media in Nigeria.
My name is Abdulkarim Majid. I report for Premium Times. I'm here live in Dubai.
Before you go to the field, you also need to think of the possible impacts that your story will have on the community.
Reporters have this challenge of mumbling too many issues together.
As the media landscape evolves, Premium Times continue to innovate, to adapt, and to lead because the mission remains the same: to deliver journalism that matters.
What we're happy about is that we've been able to provide information, the kind of information that the Nigerian people need to make informed decisions.
Very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you would agree with me that Premium Time leads and others follow. Round of applause for Premium Times, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunities you provide your staff. Thank you for providing the kind of journalism we can always trust. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's an award show without award presentations? We are gradually creeping into the highlights of this event, and we will start with the first round of award presentations. This award presentations covers the time span of January to December 2024, and I would not be doing this alone. I'll be doing this alongside someone you love, someone you know. A round of applause as I call on Mr. Willie Obasi-Ota to the stage to assist with the award presentation. All right, thank you, DJ. Thank you. Thank you, DJ. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to proceed with the awards presentation, and I'm going to call on the director of the MacArthur Foundation to come and assist with presenting awards to the deserving guests, to the deserving awardees. Put your hands together for Dr. Kole Shetima as he steps forward to assist. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, the MC. So I'll be calling out the names of the persons who have won the awards for monthly awards from January of 2024, from January to December. Please, if you hear your name, just come forward to receive your award. The first award for January, the month of January, goes to Abdul Kudus Ogundapo.
A round of applause for Mr. Abdul Kudus. Ladies and gentlemen, let's act like we are at the Grammys. Let's celebrate our awardees. A round of applause for Mr. Abdul Kudus. Congratulations, sir. A round of applause for Mr. Abdul Kudus, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so the next awardee for the month of February, a special report, is Ame Akpen-Julu.
A round of applause for Ame. Is he here?
The managing editor is going to be receiving this award on his behalf.
Receiving a award on behalf of Mr. Ame. A round of applause for Mr. Ame, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, next in line for a special report and investigation for the month of is Kabiru Yusuf.
Mr. Kabiru Yusuf, step forward and receive your award plaque. A round of applause for Mr. Kabiru Yusuf, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause for him. Please keep clapping till he gets here. Thank you for celebrating Mr. Kabiru.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the screens beside you, you would see the headlines of the stories that won these awards too. So next, for an investigation in the month of April, the award goes to James Apache.
Honorable James, are you here? Step forward, step forward. Just to reiterate, if you look at the screens, you will see the stories that garnered them this award. A round of applause for Mr. James, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, DJ. And the next award for the month of May, a special report, goes to Mariam Ileyemi. Our first signal recipient. Because she was just delivered, she could not travel to be here, but the award will be have by Temi Adelodu. Okay, and the next awardee for an investigation in the month of June 2024 is Folashade Ogunride. Okay, and Folashade is not here with us because she's not feeling too well, and to be received again on our behalf. Now for a special report in the month of July, the monthly award winner is Kasim Suleiman. A round of applause for Kasim Suleiman. Just to reiterate, the stories that won them this award are being displayed on the screens to my left and to my right. All right, and for the first on this list, for the month of August, we had a joint monthly award winner. So it is an investigation, and it was done by Oladeyinde Olawoyin and team. The team here is not mentioned, but so it's a joint award. So this award goes to Oladeyinde Olawoyin. Oladeyinde. I think the team is slowing him down. Congratulations, Mr. Oladeyinde and team. Very important. Okay, and for the month of September 2024, the monthly award winner for a special report is Sivio Imukudo. Congratulations, Mr. Savio. Okay, next, for the month of October, we will have someone who had won once, and it's for a report. And this award goes to Kapiru Yusuf. Our first repeat winner, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I wish that we had not stopped clapping, because for an investigation in the month of November, the award again goes to Kabiru Yusuf. Three, please, ladies and gentlemen. A hat trick of awards for Mr. Kabiru Yusuf. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. A serial winner. Congratulations.
All right. And in the month of December, we have another person winning for a second time for a report. And this time around, it is Qasim Suleiman. A round of applause for Mr. Qasim. Congratulations once again. All right, so thank you so much, Dr. Kule, for assisting. But before you leave, sir, I would like our wadis to please step down and take a photo. This place might not be enough, so just arrange yourselves here, please. Our photographer, please arrange them if you may. You can. Okay, someone can stand up here. Yes.
To be the best, number one and nothing less. Ooh, Here we go, it's getting close. Now it's just one set.
Thank you, Mr. DJ. Thank you. If your hands are not too busy, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please a warm round of applause for the first set of awardees. Please, a warm round of applause for the first set of awardees, ladies and gentlemen. They deserve it. They deserve even way more. And congratulations once again to the awardees. We would be taking... Thank you, our awardees. Thank you. Remember, we are running live on AIT, so we need to reduce the noise in the background. I just had some interesting breaking news from our managing director, Mr. Idris. Our winners, you would also be getting some monetary value attached to the award, not just the plaque. So that calls for applause. A round of applause once again to Premium Times. Thank you. Not only are musicians that win money, even our editors and our journalists. Thank you so much, Mr. DJ. All right, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at the start, thank you, DJ, thank you. At the start of this event, I had promised you entertainment. We have had a saxophonist perform. We still have an entourage of other entertainers in this building. We handpicked them specially for this event because of their talent. And we have a different type of entertainer coming forward to show us her skills. She is a poet, she's a spoken word artist, and she is a lupus survivor. She will tell us more about that when she comes forward. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Oma, the poet, as she steps forward. A round of applause for Oma, ladies and gentlemen. Please keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping till she gets here.
They told me love is patient. But they didn't tell me that love shouldn't leave bruises where kisses are meant to leave. They said, relationships take work. But no one said work shouldn't feel like survival. So I stayed. I stayed through the shouting, through the silence, through the apologies that sounded the same. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. Again. Such a small word for something that happened over and over and over. You see, abuse doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. Don't wear that. Why are you doing that? Don't talk to them ever again. And slowly, I became smaller. Not weak. Just trying to make peace in a war I didn't start. I thought, maybe if I just speak softly, maybe if I do it harder, maybe if I loved better. Hear this. You cannot love violence out of someone who has refused to change. And it was never my fault. Not the slaps, not the shoves, not the nights I cried silently. And yet you hear the world say, why didn't she leave? And never, why did he hurt her? I stayed because I hoped. I hoped he would change. I hoped love would be enough. Hope. Hope cannot heal abuse. And so one day I looked in the mirror and I barely saw myself. And it whispered, this isn't love. And so I left. I left not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. Moving away doesn't show weakness. It is courage. It is you finding yourself after being lost for so long. So if you hear this today, you are not weak. Because no one deserves pain disguised as love. I didn't deserve it. And so I left.
Thank you, DJ. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if it wasn't obvious what that poem was about, it was about domestic violence. And as an organization, we frown against domestic violence. Please, a round of applause for our poet, Omar. Thank you so much. She will be coming on stage again to deliver one of her poems. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just so it's not the staff of Premium Times talking, or just the MC talking, or just the entertainers, we would have at this juncture some goodwill messages from some friends of Premium Times, and they are here seated. So I'm going to be calling them on to come and give their goodwill messages. And please extend the same felicitations by clapping when I call them. First, we have the Corps Marshal from the Federal Road Safety Corps, Corps Marshal Shehu Mohammed. A round of applause for him as he comes to give that goodwill message. Thank you for clapping, but please keep clapping till he gets here. Keep clapping till he gets here. You are welcome, sir.
The Chairman, Board of Directors, Dr. Idowu Obasa, PhD, my friend and brother, the editor-in-chief, Mojid, and his spouse, very distinguished guests on the high table. I can see Your Highness. I can see many doctors, PhDs, more than the ordinaries. Premium Times is one of the few media outfits in Nigeria that are practicing ethical journalism, displaying the principle of accuracy, truthfulness, independence, and accountability. And of course, even though they specialize on investigative journalism, they test the other aspect of journalism: news, opinion, feature journalism. In fact, I can remember vividly when we had issue with national driver license late 2024 and early 2025, delay in capturing, delay in processing, and delay in issuing driver's license to applicants. It was the same Premium Times that investigated and wrote, and that equally prompted us to swift to action. Today, we're happy to say that we have changed the age infrastructures and devices. We're getting it right and moving to what we can call direct biometric and direct capturing and instant issuance of driver license. Thank you, Premium Times. FRC will continue to associate with Premium Times, and we shall continue to partner and collaborate to make Nigeria roads safe and secured for all motoring and general public. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much to the call marshal. The next person stepping forward to deliver a goodwill message. If our hands are not too busy, let's put our hands together for the Southern Adutse, Alhaji Nasiru Danu, as he steps forward to deliver a goodwill message. Please, let's clap, let's clap. Let's not get tired of clapping. Trust me, there's lots to eat and lots to drink. Our energy will be refilled. You're welcome, sir.
Chairman of the board of the Premium Times, Mujid, chief editor, and members of the Premium Times family. Let me use this opportunity to congratulate you for a job well done, journalism with integrity, at this critical time, particularly in this our country where we have a lot of fake news, a lot of media houses that have no integrity. But today, I can tell you, Premium Time is one of the few. If you can count 5, Premium Time will be number 1 in true journalism. I say this because I've experienced a lot with Premium Time. Without knowing anybody a few years ago, they did their best. They are true journalism. And today is history. All I can say, congratulations. I pray that the journalism in Nigeria, many of the upcoming media houses, that should learn from the Premium Time. Thank you, and God bless you all.
We can do better. Please, let's put our hands together for Alhaji Nasiru Danu. Thank you so much for clapping. Our next distinguished guest is a woman, yes, thankfully. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the founder and chairman, Compliance Professionals PLC, and former executive chairman, Nigeria Revenue Service, Mrs. Ifweku Okauru, as she comes to deliver a goodwill message. A round of applause for her, please, as she steps forward. You're welcome, ma. Check.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you to the editorial board. Thank you to the management of Premium Times. And thank you for all of you, members of Premium Times, for all you do. Can you give yourselves a round of applause? You know, just sitting down there and listening to the different awards, I mentioned to the editor-in-chief and chief operating officer that I didn't know the depth of the research that you do across a variety of topics. And one of the things I know I'm going to take up with Mojid later is how can we, you know, I don't know how to put it, but basically up the ante in letting people know about these research work, and not just that, translate it to policy. My time with Premium Times precedes Premium Times. And one person that I really would like to especially recognize is Mojid Musikliu. Please, can you give him a round of applause? Mojid is not just doing this because it's Premium Times. Whatever we see here is an embodiment of the person. I knew Mojid while I was at the then FRS, and this was out of the blue. No prior contact, nothing. And it took up the cause of supporting the reforms and making sure that whatever was out there was factual and represented really what we were doing. Not just that, when we're looking for special advisor in charge of communications and media, the late Wahab Baramosi, again, Mojid helped in identifying the person. And that was one of my most brilliant staff in the communications circle, and may his soul rest in peace. Thinking through 15 years, I remember when this whole thing started. I can't imagine this is where we are today. And our prayer, my husband and I, because as I talk about my experience, I think my husband will talk about his own experience, even though we are here together. Because it shows that Mojid and Premium Times, we're not just here to report the news, they're actually family. They've gone beyond just the reporting. Because they identify people and honestly abhor anything that you call as injustice. And they take it up to the very end. So I'm going to not talk on behalf of my husband. He's going to speak for himself. But I can say that through my own trials in my family, the death of my mother, the death of my father, whatever we are doing in the NGO space, one person, even if I don't call him, he calls me, to be sure that we're out there projecting the causes that we're proud to project. So what can I say here is to wish you all well. Wish you success. May you grow higher and higher and higher. I want to see all those who won awards become the very best in what they do, and congratulations. I'd like to see those who have not won awards. Your own awards are coming. And for the journalists that are yet to join Premium Times, the prayer is they see in what you do the advancement of ethical journalism, because there's something that Mojit said during the documentary, providing the right information to drive the change that we need in our dear country. And may we all, in our lifetime, see your news, your reporting translate to improvements in our larger society. And may God bless you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for clapping. You would agree with me that what's good for the goose is good for the gander as well. On that juncture, I'm going to call the former Director General, Nigeria's Governors Forum, and the husband to the amazing lady that just left, Mr. Asishana Okaru, to come and deliver a goodwill message. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen, as he steps forward. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to apologize. I'm not sure Mojit wanted me here. He told us this was scheduled for 2 o'clock and then called again to say, oh, no, it's 4. And later, I think I saw something like 4:30. I mean, but sincerely, I'm sorry. We came in late. I really wanted to be part of this from the beginning. Let me start by, first of all, congratulating Premium Times. This is one group I sincerely trust, I must tell you. Yeah, from my heart. And it's tough for me to talk about your organization without being emotional. You know, it's been a long journey for me and my family. I mean, people don't know this part of it. You know, the current National Security Advisor sourced me out, came into this country to start the EFCC in 2003. I came in as number 6 in the pack of things. And I sincerely thought then that we had a good platform we could use to change the country. Sincerely. Well, a number of things happened. Just after that, we needed to start the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit. And he asked me to move there. I was first director of the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit. Everything went well until we ran into turbulent waters. And I think then you had Yomi and Chido and a couple of other people that were part of it. That was my first experience. It was tough. It was tough. The press was harsh. And luckily for me, I ran into somebody, may so rest in peace too. I just didn't know how to deal with the press. I mean, stories, just completely unfounded stories from nowhere, all over the place. And the late Dr. Adeniyojo Onukaba is, he called me and we talked. And I said, look, how do I manage things like this? He said, well, I've gone through this. There's still one person I trust out there. His name is Mojit. Yeah. And he asked me to go talk to Mojit. So I went to Mojit. He took me to some isolated place and wanted my story. He asked if I had records, if I had, I gave him everything. And left. You know, and it was at a time where people will call you, you talk to them, and the next day you see the direct opposite of what you just, you know. And that continued until I'm sure my wife would forget. You may have forgotten that then. I was in the office that evening with my wife, and in no time, we discovered that there were police officers around the building. They said we're under arrest. That the current chairman had ordered the arrest because we were boys to... that story, I don't know how Mojit got the information, But that publication you made the next day changed everything for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will never forget that. You know, I see Mojid as a brother. I must confess, I see him as a brother. I mean, and you can see he is one person I would trust any day with my life, because he trusted me, believed in my story, and helped my situation. So, ladies and gentlemen, while congratulating the organization and winners here today, I must tell you that I have a personal story and a personal connection with this organization. And as long as I live, I will continue to support this organization. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished guests, for your heartfelt messages to this organization. Please, a round of applause for all the speeches we just heard. Can we put our hands together for all the speeches? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we would move on to the next set of awards. The reason we are here, actually. These awards are for the time span of January to December 2025, and it will be presented by Mrs. Chidiman Dibwisi. Is she available? Please step forward. A round of applause for our award presenter. And ladies and gentlemen, there's a purse here. If you mistakenly dropped yours, please kindly meet Mr. Willie and collect it. And our VIP that will be assisting to hand these awards to the awardees, he is a former senator representing Rivers State Southeast constituency, and he is a businessman. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Senator Lee Maeba as he steps forward to assist with the award presentations. A round of applause for the senator, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be taking the next set of awards for the year 2025. We have on our list Miss Oluwakemi Adelagun. Please, a round of applause for her for the month of January. This is a special report.
A round of applause for Miss Oluwakemi as she steps forward to receive her award for the month of January 2025. Congratulations.
Next, we also have Miss Oluwakemi Adelagun for the February 2025. It's also a special report. Yes. Round of applause for her, please.
In case you don't know what happened, she just won a back-to-back award for the month of January and the month of February 2025. A round of applause for Miss Oluwakemi, ladies and gentlemen. She deserves it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Next, we have Mariam Ileyemi from March 2025. Please, a round of applause for her.
Collecting on behalf of Mariam.
Collecting the award for her on her behalf. Next, we have a joint monthly award winner, Miss Nike Adebowale Tambe, for the month of April 2025. And we also have Mariam Ileyemi. It's a joint award for the month of April 2025. A round of applause for them, please.
Our first set of joint awardees. The women of Premium Times are running this award session. A round of applause for them as they step forward. Congratulations.
Congratulations to her. Ms. Kemi Adelagun will be collecting the award for Mariam Ileyemi. Congratulations. For the month of May, we have Mrs. Oluwakemi Adelagun. A round of applause for her, please. The women are winning.
A three-peat performance. A round of applause for Miss Oluwakemi, ladies and gentlemen.
Next, we have the July 2025 awards. We have Mariam Ileyemi. A round of applause for her. Please, the managing editor, we invite you to please come and accept this award.
The managing editor accepting the award for Miss Mariam.
So I would like to mention that the females winning this award are from the development desk. A round of applause for us.
Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, it's an inside joke. Don't worry.
Congratulations to her. Next, we have our very own Abdulkarim Moji, a special report for the month of August 2025. A round of applause for him.
Mr. Abdul Kadri Madrid. Our first male winner for the year 2025. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause for him. Congratulations.
For September 2025, we have Amadou Meshanu. Report on investigation.
As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, he's the man of the people. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen, as he steps forward.
Congratulations to him. Next, we have for October 2025, Chinagorom Ugu.
Yes, sir. Yes. Congratulations, Mr. Ugu.
We have a joint monthly award winner by the name Oladende Olawoyin for November 2025. A round of applause for him, please. And we also have Folashade Oguride for November 2025.
Folashade and Oladende, please step forward and receive your awards for the month of November 2025.
The joint awards will be receiving on behalf of Folashade Oguride. Congratulations to the recipients of the award. And finally, for December 2025, we have Savior Imuko. A round of applause for him, please.
Congratulations, Mr. Savior. I see he's a man of the people as well. to this set of awardees. Congratulations. As with the previous set, please step forward and take a photo with our distinguished guests. Just step forward and line up here. Some of you can stand up here, some just stand down there. Photographer, please arrange them. Thank you.
Baby, I'm a long time ago. Oh, my Joe Jabo, oh, you Jabo. If I did to my soko, Jamie Labo, my present live easy. Everybody else are not easy. Celebrity life is not easy. Still easy. I'm gonna show up easy. Too much easy. I see. What are the beats? What are
Thank you, Mr. DJ. Thank you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, please put your hands together for this set of awardees. And just to add, they will be getting monetary prizes as well. So a round of applause for them, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together for them.
This is good news for the winners. An anonymous individual just contacted me and says already each of these prizes has monetary value attached to them, but we don't want to announce so the winners are not robbed. But somebody says that all of you have won award tonight. We get extra 100,000 each. No.
To our anonymous donor, thank you so much. All the awardees, congratulations. You would get extra money tonight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just to reiterate, we still have another set of awards, which are the major awards for tonight. So what's going to happen now is I would call on a performer. Right after his performance, we would move on to the next set of awards, which are the major awards for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this next performer has also done many stages all around the world, especially in Africa and in Nigeria. He was on the last set of Nigeria's Got Talent. He's traveled far and wide with his art and his craft. Ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, put your hands together for Jay Kelly. He is a multi-talented singer and a producer. Put your hands together for Jay Kelly, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause, a round of applause, a round of applause. You're welcome.
Good evening, beautiful ladies and gentlemen. As you already know, I am Jay Kelly, and I am here to ease the night a little bit.
true. I'm gonna walk in the city. So wish me well, oh, wish me well. Said I had a in the city. That's what I hope. My dreams will come true. I'm gonna walk when I get there. Please wish me well. Please wish me well. Please wish me well. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Da 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 da. Please wish me well.
Thank you so much.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you would agree with me that Nigeria has talent. A round of applause for this amazing singer, J. Kelly. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before the next set of awards, which is the highlight of this event, we will take another set of goodwill messages from some friends of Premium Times. We will start with the Abuja chapter chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Mrs. Grace Ike. A round of applause for her as she steps forward to deliver a Google message. Please, a round of applause for her, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you very much. Good evening, distinguished guests. Please permit me to stand on already established protocol. I'm actually impressed today because what is happening here is nothing short full of appreciation. I believe when you appreciate journalists who are committed, journalists who have dedicated their time, journalists who are out there, frontline workers in the quest for truth, justice, and national development, they will do more and they are willing to give their best. So what Premium Times is doing is to appreciate and award journalists, staff who have contributed their quota to national development. And something is unique here today, that for every investigation carried out, for every story, for the awardees, they did not just file in their story, they made impact. For every investigation they do, something actually happens. For every corruption exposed, something really happens. And that is the essence of it, how much impact we are willing to make as journalists. I really want to congratulate all the awardees. I want to say thank you to Premium Times. You're doing very well. The editor-in-chief, our own friend. In fact, ethical journalism is all he preaches. If you're doing the wrong thing, I'm sorry for you. He's not out to support you. If you're doing the right thing, you are his friend. Mr. Mojud, thank you very much for all you do. The NUJ FCT is proud of you. We are proud of all the awardees today. I really cannot say much, but a little token will come from NUJ, because by extension, this is what we want journalists to keep doing. So once again, I say congratulations to everyone. I actually have an event, but I said it's going to be part of me to be here to witness this occasion, because this comes as form of encouragement. So I want to encourage all of us, and I hope that every other media houses, publishers, will take step as to what you're doing. So Premium Times, you set, others follow. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for the chairperson. You're welcome, ma. In the spirit of goodwill messages, the last but not the least goodwill message from the President Guild of Corporate Online Publishers, GoCorp. A round of applause for Mr. Dan Labi Nmodu as he steps forward to offer his goodwill message. A round of applause for the President. You're welcome, sir. Check.
Good evening. Let me just
simply congratulate the awardees, the winners. You see, but I'm not here essentially to just congratulate them alone. I want to make one observation, which some of you who may not have been into newsrooms may not understand. Each time winners were announced, you saw the crowd hailing. It shows that there is love in the newsroom of Premium Times. When the staff are happy, the colleagues are always very, very excited. Those of us who have been to newsrooms that had working newsrooms, actually, when I mean working newsroom, where you had people, bosses, subordinates and all, monitoring, guiding, and giving leadership, you will see it flowing down from top to the bottom. Premium Times, thank you very much for keeping the tradition of a resounding newsroom alive. I congratulate the management of Premium Times, and I also congratulate the staff of Premium Times. We want to see many more of these groundbreaking stories. Congratulations to the awardees. Thank you.
Applause for the president, ladies and gentlemen. The president of Go Cup. Thank you for that goodwill messages. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the last goodwill message I have is in-house. He is a member of the Premium Times editorial board. Round of applause for Dr. Chido Onuma as he comes forward to give his goodwill message. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. He is in-house. I expect the applause to be louder. Thank you. Check.
Thank you very much. I think this is what you describe as a coup. You said I'm in-house. Why do I have to give a goodwill message? But it's great to be here. Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. As the MC announced, I'm in-house. Premium Times is like my family. I've been there. I was there at the beginning, 11 years ago. I think it was in 2010 that all of this started somewhere in some decrepit building around Mabushi, where we spent hours working, selecting, discussing, debating about the name. Myself, Dakpo, Dabs, Mojid, I think Idris, some young men, Ike Okonta, and so on. We're happy what Premium Times has been able to do in a decade and a half. In terms of investigation, the kind of stories, breaking news and all of that, it can only get better. I'd like to wish everyone who has been part of this story all the best. I'm sure they have some grand plans as we move forward in our democratic endeavor. I'm grateful the opportunity to serve on the Premium Times editorial board, but also to mention some of the creative and innovative ideas that Premium Times has brought on board beyond just publishing. You had the opportunity, you spread into book publishing. I think they published 2 or 3 of my books, and they've also done publications for a number of people, including some of the people who are seated here today. So we look forward to another 15 years of, innovation, successes, great achievements, and all of that. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I wish you all well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chido. He has been there from the beginning, and he's still standing tall with Premium Times. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to beg, the noise levels are increasing. Remember, we are live on TV, so it affects our transmission. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the high point of this event. This next set of awards will be presented by Mrs. Chidima alongside Mr. Willie. And our VIPs that would be handing out these awards are the board chairman for Premium Times Media Services Limited, Dr. Idowu Obasa. A round of applause for him as he steps forward. Dr. Obasa. You're welcome, sir. And I know he just left the stage, but I'm going to call him back. Please put your hands together for Dr. Chido Onuma as he comes to assist with our word presentations. A round of applause for him till he gets here, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause.
We gotta be prepared. Don't just sit and stare down the line.
Just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the reason we are here. This is the main set of awards. So the awardees would be given just a minute to speak right after they receive the awards. I think we can proceed.
I don't feel that we should trust and find, especially baby not here tonight.
So we begin with the 2024 awards.
So just keep cool.
While the details come up, for the story of the year 2025, the award, sorry sir, 2024, the winner is an award-winning investigative journalist, media trainer, and advocate for women's rights. Her work focuses on issues of gender, governance, and social justice. She reports for Premium Times Nigeria, where she tells stories that hold power to account and highlight how government decisions affect women and other marginalized groups. Her journalism has been recognized with several awards, including the Dame Awards for Media Excellence, Wole Soyinka Award for Investigative Journalism, the PwC Media Excellence Award, the Norbert Zongo African Prize for Investigative Journalism, and the West African Media Excellence Award. She is also a Global Investigative Journalism Network Fellow and an alumna of the Female Reporters Leadership Program of the Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism. Beyond her newsroom work, she speaks and trains on gender-sensitive reporting and newsroom leadership, helping women journalists build confidence and authority in their craft. She believes in the power of storytelling to drive change and continues to use her voice to challenge inequality in public life. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome the story of the year winner, Folashade Ogunride.
A round of applause from Folashade Ogunride.
The story that won Folashade the award for Story of the Year 2024 on Premium Times was an investigation that looked at the inside the legal operations of the mining firm responsible for the Ibadan fatal explosion in 2024. The story identified the firm responsible for the explosion and established that the explosives that were sourced that caused the explosion were sourced and stored illegally. The story also established that although the company has valid mining licenses, it neither applied for nor received the permit to buy the explosives. The story established that the company had in the past gotten permits to buy explosives, but the permits had long expired. The story identified how the explosives that caused that fatal explosion were bought illegally through the black market. The story established that most illegal miners operating across Nigeria sourced their explosives from the black market. The story identified weak regulation despite existing laws that allow such crimes to continue.
Thank you very much, our managing editor, Idris Akibajo, for highlighting that. So that award was for the story of the year. Now to the reporter, yes, 2024, story of the year. Now to the reporter of the year 2024. The person receiving this award is a senior investigative journalist with extensive experience covering issues that spans accountability, anti-corruption, conflict, security, energy, finance, health, human rights, governance, politics, and technology. He holds a master's degree in communication studies from the Bayero University, Kano. His work has earned multiple journalism honors, including a nomination for the U.S. International Visitors Leadership Program, IVLP, in 2025. And the award goes to Kabiru Yusuf. Okay. So each of the winners will speak for 1 minute, but that's after we called out the editor of the year, so that we'll just take their turns. Although there's no citation for the editor of the year here, I'm just going to call him out as we honor him too for his magnificent work that he had done for the year 2024. And the award goes to Mr. Bisi Abidoye. Okay, and the last award for the year 2024, which is the Digital Strategy Department. Yes, so we have the Digital Strategist for the year 2024, and the award goes to Aaron Cole. So we'll just take 1 minute speech from each of the winners, and then we'll take pictures with them so they can step down, and then we'll have the nominations of the names for the people who won for 2025 come up. So just 1 minute, just say something.
Hello, everyone. So I'm speaking on behalf of Folashade Oguride. I would like to appreciate Premium Times for this opportunity and this award. This is really great. Unfortunately, Folashade couldn't be here because of little health issues. But I'm sure if I tell her she just won 250,000 naira, she'll probably get well sooner. So thank you to Premium Times. Thank you to Premium Times management. This is huge and quite encouraging. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. I'm very grateful for this honor. I mean, this award is very special coming from Premium Times. This is my primary constituency. So all the awards I've won before, I think this is the most special. And also, so I would like to thank all my colleagues and the editors who, the managing editor, the Mr. BC Abidoye, who edits most of our special reports, and to everyone who contributed to the success of these stories, and most importantly to the people that are giving us the opportunity to tell their own stories. The stories that won the 2024 awards, about 2 or 3 of them, I'm very proud of those stories because these are stories that, I travel to a rural part of this country to go and tell the stories of people. There is a story we published about how Nigerian army killed some civilians in Kaduna State. I mean, people should read that story. It's very, very important. I'm very proud of that story. But also, lastly, this award, I mean, the 2024, I think that's the most difficult year of my life because all these stories were told at a point when, was going through a lot. My mom was sick most of that year and eventually she died in that year. So, this award coming now, I'm dedicating it all to her. And thank you so much to all of you. Thank you very much.
I'll be frank. This is a surprise to me because I am surrounded by very, very brilliant and committed editors. I see them every day that I stepped into that office. And to be singled out as the winner of this award, I just asked, how? Nonetheless, I want to thank Premium Times for creating an environment where we have people who want to redefine journalism, who want to assert the real purpose of journalism. And everybody has been working very hard. We have a crop of very, very talented reporters, and some of them have won awards today. Many of them have not. And that should tell you about the pool of talents that we have. I know, and I'm very happy that the chairman of the board has promised that this award will continue every year. So many more of these brilliant reporters will have the opportunity to win awards. I want just to tell you, please stick to what you're doing. And yes, I want to thank the management. The editor-in-chief, well, everybody and many people have said a lot about him, so I'm not going to say any more thing. I don't want him to get constipated with the managing editor. Here is a very brilliant young man and very, very dedicated to what he does. I mean, when you look at the level that he works, the energy that he demonstrates in his work, you feel challenged that, am I doing enough for this organization? I just pray that God will continue to bless all of you and everybody who is connected to Premium Times. So I thank you all. God bless.
Good evening, everyone.
I want to, I really want to thank everyone, thank the leadership of the house, thank my editors, thank my supervisor, my HODs. I'm really humble for this award, and I hope this is first of many more. Thank you. Yeah, let's take pictures now. Yes.
In addition to the awards, they'll be receiving 500,000 each.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love.
Thank you so much, Mr. DJ. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, please a round of applause for this set of awardees. Going home with not just the award plaque, but with 500,000 naira. Did I hear correctly? A round of applause for that, ladies and gentlemen. Just so you know, journalism pays, in case you're thinking of taking up the profession. All right, ladies and gentlemen, to present the next set of awards, our power couple, yes. Please put your hands together for Mr. Asishana and Mrs. Ifweku Okaru as they step forward to help with the award presentation. A round of applause for them as they step forward. Thank you.
Okay, and now we've moved on to the year 2025, and we are going to start off with the story of the year. And the winner for this category is Oladende Olawoyen. Okay, so this is a joint award. The other person who is also winning this is Folashade Ogunwide.
This joint investigation by Oladende Olawoyin and Folashade Ogunwide is titled "Lead in Their Blood: How Battery Recyclers Are Poisoning Nigerians." It's a joint investigation between Premium Times in Nigeria, The Examination in the US, and the New York Times. And the investigation established several things. One, a named battery company in Ogijo, Ogun State, is poisoning workers, community residents, and the environment. Some community residents, based on the test that we conducted and what the story established, had lead levels above 5 times what the WHO considers relatively safe. Nearly 3/4 of the children in the community had blood lead levels above the WHO reference limit because of the activities of these companies. Among the adults in the community who do not work in the factory, lead levels double the WHO limits. Among workers at the factory, the average blood lead concentration was 4 times higher than the WHO's reference limits. The soil and dust samples in the community showed lead concentration almost 5 times higher than the US Environmental Protection Agency's safety limits. However, about a decade before this investigation, the residents of the community had protested the likely impact of the battery companies on their health and environment, but regulators took no action. Until we started this story and the regulators were contacted during the production of the story, no regulator had detected the harmful impacts. No Nigerian regulator had detected the harmful impact of the activities of these firms. After the regulators were contacted, they shut down the airing companies and avowed a thorough investigation.
Thank you very much, Managing Editor.
All right. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. To say I am delighted to receive this is an understatement because I'm a business editor. Ideally, it's difficult to actually report as an editor because being on the field is really tasking. But I try as much as I can to also do reporting. And I'm most delighted by the impact of the story because the hallmark of journalism is the impact it has on the voiceless in the society. And after the investigation, we went back to the community. It was so emotional for us because they literally believe us more than they even trust the government. And we were really thrilled by that. And for me, that's the height of journalism for me. And I'm really glad that this is being recognized. Thank you so much to Premium Times. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, now we are moving on to the Reporter of the Year 2025. And this award goes to Mariam Ileyam. Award will be received on her behalf by her editor, Nike Adebowale.
Okay, I'm receiving this award on behalf of Miriam Ileyemi. I would like to play a voice appreciating the premium times management. So I'm going now.
Wow. Thank you very much for this recognition. Thanks to Premium Times, the entire management, to all our editors, from Mr. BC Abidoye, Mr. Adeyemi Adeshomoju, for the support and everything. I really appreciate. Just as it was initially said at the opening remark, that it has not been easy. Of course, it has not been easy, but it has been absolutely worth it. Reporting, especially on development issues, comes with, its challenges, but yet it has been rewarding. Thank you very much. I'm grateful to Premium Times once again for creating an environment that is inclusive for us, especially as female reporters. Thank you so much, Premium Times, for this environment, for giving us the space to pursue impactful stories. This recognition is not just for me, it's for development desk. Shout out to my colleagues, my editor, Nikki Adeboale Tambe, and also my former editor, Mr. Mojid Alabi.
Okay, thank you so much, Premium Times. We're grateful. Thank you. Yeah.
A round of applause for Miriam Ileyemi. The reason why she's absent here is because she just had a child, she had a baby, and that's why she's not with us today. Congratulations to her. Next, we have the editor of the year 2025. This editor is a journalist and she holds a bachelor's degree in English and Literary Studies from Ekiti State University, Ado-Ekiti. This journalist has extensive experience reporting on health and development issues, with a strong focus on HIV/AIDS, maternal and child health, and other critical public health concerns. This journalist is passionate about telling impactful, data-driven stories that amplify underreported issues and vulnerable population. This journalist reporting has earned her several awards in recognition of her outstanding performance, professionalism, and contributions to journalism. Ladies and gentlemen, the editor of the year 2025 is no other than Nike Adebowale Tambi. A round of applause for her, please.
Did see this coming? Thank you. Thank you so much to the Premium Times management. Like, I just arrived. Just became an editor and I'm just trying to figure out the whole leadership thing and being an editor to women especially. I'm sorry, I'm lost for words, but thank you so much. I didn't see this coming. Thank you so much. I'm grateful and I promise to continue to put in effort to ensure that the health and development desk continue to stay on top. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank
you. Next, we have a joint award from the Digital Strategy Unit for the Digital Strategies of the year 2025. We have Esther Adaji and Congratulations to the team.
Baby, baby, money. You know, say you matching my teeth. You know I'm a G. Shawty,
The other person is Aaron Cole.
too much whining, you got too much whining. I did it, I did show you the end. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, you yourself, you about to be love is in the air. Baby, anytime you need me, I better compatible. Two of us are compatible. Girl, I be bad, but for
This award comes with a monetary award of 500,000.
baby, go down low. Money, you know say you matching my steez. You know I'm a G. Shawty, I'm always keeping real. I know they got too much whining, they got too much whining. I did it, I did show you the end. Oh yeah, you can call up. Oh yeah, show yourself too, but I mean the love is in the air. Breathing, the way you move this your body in a way, banana.
Congratulations to the awardees. Next, this is our last and final award for tonight, and we call him the Money Man. This is for the Business Development Staff of the Year Award 2025. This person is hardworking, passionate, and is determined to drive revenue wherever he goes. A round of applause for Abiodun Ojo.
That's the craft of the beat.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
See that it looks like money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah.
What comes with
Yeah.
500,000.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I really appreciate the management of Premium Times for this recognition. It's actually not something I expected, but I think it's worth it. I think I would say it's an award for my team. Yes, because nothing is ever done in the business and management team alone. There's hardly anything I can do alone, and we always work together. I would say we do a lot of work. We reach out, and also we get a lot of push, especially from the editor-in-chief and from some of our other colleagues too. So I think it's not just a loan recognition. So I'll say thank you very much to the management and also to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Premium Times. I'm shocked and I'm grateful, and thanks to the digital strategy team, we did it.
Congratulations to everyone.
That's the craft of the beat.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Papa. Yeah. Erima, you too like to wahala. The last time when we see, that's so drama. We've been through stormy and rainy weather. Been through a lot. One story, can you be my own Rihanna? Yeah, happy, no apology. Now I I say,
Very on this one, no.
ain't nobody but I for nobody. I just want to dance with you, mommy.
To our guests that assisted with the award presentation, thank you. And to our awardees, a round of applause for our awardees, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause. For some of the awards, it was expected, but still, it was a surreal experience winning these awards.
Too much stuff, 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 too much, too much stuff, make a love, there's no other one above.
Damn, fresh. Shawty want $1 million. Say make a wire. Tell me to wanna cover.
Thank you, Mr. DJ. Thank you. Once again, congratulations to our awardees.
Sorry, I just want just an update. Some anonymous donor said the guys who did the story on lead, the lead in their blood, they are going to match whatever they have gotten today. So which means they are going to get additional cash prize for that story.
I think that deserves a round of applause. Let me amplify that. A set of anonymous donors are going to match what was given to the journalist that won the award for the story on lead poisoning. So that deserves a round of applause. Please put your hands together for our anonymous donor. Thank you so much. At some point, I was expecting an award for the best MC. I mean, I'm not scared of 500,000 naira, just so you know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure we are all hungry and we can't wait to eat. Trust me, Premium Times has prepared a buffet, and we would step out table by table to have that. But before that, we would have a vote of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me? I think the noise levels are coming back up. Can we reduce a bit of the rowdiness, please? Thank you. Please, let's reduce a bit of the rowdiness. So this is how this is going to play. We would have a vote of thanks now. And after that, we would go and eat. But while we are eating, the next set of entertainment would take place. We still have a saxophonist coming up. Our poets would come up. And we have a surprise for you. We have a dancer. We imported this dancer all the way from the East. So you have to watch this performance. So coming up now to give the vote of thanks and the closing remarks for this event, please put your hands together for the Deputy Managing Director of Premium Times, Mr. Adeyemi Adesomoju, as he steps forward to give his speech. A round of applause for Mr. Adeyemi, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome, sir.
Hello, good evening. Thank you, MC, for also sharing positions to me. Good evening. It's been a good day, happy day. And our time is fast spent, so we all want to go. But before you go, we have some words for you. We have just witnessed another milestone in the demonstration of Premium Times commitment. So appreciating staff and members' dedication and contributions. To the great journalism it is globally reputed for. Is a monument to our belief that all our team members in both the editorial and non-editorial departments are the lifeblood of our operations, without whom Premium Times would be a hollow shell. In a broader term, this event is a Premium Times modest contribution to great journalism, as it goes a long way in motivating and assuring reporters anywhere in the world that they are toiling and danger they go through to break down barriers, to tell compelling stories that enhance accountability and make our world safer, more secure, more protective, and more nourishing do not go unnoticed. Therefore, it's exciting that all of us here, both physically and virtually, are living witnesses to this event of global significance. So we have our gorgeous guests, our loyal friends, and supportive cheerleaders to thank for the glamour you have added to this event and your inestimable contributions to the success story of Premium Times that we are all gathered to celebrate tonight. Many of you have traveled from within and outside Abuja to honor us with your presence, sometimes maybe on a very short notice. Among you are those of you who got the invite to this event less than a week ago, yet you put everything aside on your crowded schedule to be here. We thank you for your patience to be here all through. What more can we ask? What more can we ask for? We do not take for granted the confidence and trust you have invested in us for over a decade, which underpins the support you are always willing to give us all the time. Thank you. And given the assurance from our eminent board chairman, Dr. Idowu Obasa, today, you can be sure that we call on you next year again in a bigger way. But before you go, permit me to join the editor-in-chief and the managing editor to call on our distinguished guests, readers, fans, and partners all over the world to continue to support our journalism. A democracy cannot deliver on good governance without excellent journalism. Our membership program offers you an opportunity to make your mark in the push for deepening the democracy in Nigeria. With your support through your participation in the program, our editorial independence dedicated to excellent journalism and holding power to account can better be guaranteed. So we continue to count on your support that you have always offered. We are on the cusp of taking accountability journalism to a new height. Please, you all should join us in this journey. Finally, we thank the board and management of Premium Times for this initiative. We thank everyone who has ensured the success of this event. We also commend the awardees and the staff members for their contributions to Premium Times' success and urge them to continue to give their best. I thank you all and wish you safe journey back to your destinations.
A round of applause for the Deputy Managing Editor. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Like I said earlier, it's not the end of this event. We still have some pieces of entertainment lined up back to back for you. But just so you know, it's time to eat as well. And we have ushers stationed to assist with the procedure for going out to eat. We are doing it table by table. So please wait until an usher signals your table that your table is ready to go eat. At this juncture, I'm hoping everyone should have a meal ticket. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for us that are in the hall waiting to go and eat, let's start the entertainment. The first entertainer I'm calling on is the poet that came and delivered a scintillating piece earlier. If your hands are not too busy, please put your hands together for Oma the poet as she steps forward to give another piece. A round of applause for Oma, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause. Thank you. Check.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm very sorry. The first time I came up, I didn't actually introduce myself properly. My name is Omar Obed, and I'm a thespian, a full-time thespian. And yeah, the MC spoke about being a lupus survivor. I don't know whether many of us know what lupus is. It's actually a chronic autoimmune disease that could affect different organs. I'm a warrior because it doesn't have a cure, but can only be manageable. And I am being managed. And yes, there's a lot to it, but maybe some other day we'll talk about it. Let me just do what I'm paid to do. Thank you. Can I sit here?
on.